It feels good. It's kind of like a bittersweet moment because all of the stuff that transpired after. But at the end of the day, I'm just excited to be back in the ring.
You said Kelbert Golovkin there. Jamel Charlo did it with Canelo. I point those two out because ultimately the bigger man won. Size means a lot in this sport. Size and experience means a lot. He's got both of those things on you. What do you bring to the table?
Sheer will, grit, determination, explosiveness to win. There is nothing that will stop me from beating that man. You say size matters if, if size mattered, the elephant would be the king of the jungle.
That's a good point.
But he ain't, is it?
No, he's not. Not at all, actually.
Not at all. So as far as that goes, that man who's supposed to be sitting there is getting ironed out. He's getting muled.
I feel like I'm the overall better boxer, so I feel like just my skills are just going to beat him. If he gets knocked out, he gets knocked out. But if not, I'm going to just beat him.
Gemini said,
if he's going to make 147, if he's good at the weight, it'll be a good fight. If he has really struggled at the weight, he's going to struggle against Garcia, who is a massive puncher at welterweight with both left and right hooks, notably that left hook. It's a dangerous fight for him. I think it'll deliver all the way to the fight, but I'm afraid I think he'll get knocked out by Ryan Garcia, unless he knocks Garcia out himself. I want to see Devin Haney in with Ryan Garcia as well in the rematch. That's a massive fight. But Conor Benn, I've said this before and I will say it again, could end up with 50, 60, 70 million in the bank and never win a world title.
Script start Wad.
Yeah, I think it will be the hardest fight of his career to date. One thing about Conor Benn, as much as my views may have changed personally, he trains very hard. He'll give it his all. It's going to be a great fight and it will be an entertaining fight, I'm sure. I think Ryan Garcia, though, arguably is another level to the opponents he's been in terms of levels. But I can't write Conor off. I'm not going to sit here and write him off in that fight because he's going to go out there. This changes his life. He's had a dream to become the WBC world champion. I'd anticipate that belt is on the line unless there's any differences with Zuffa. But yeah, I wish him all the best. It's a great fight. It's a massive fight for the sport of boxing.
Tension is reaching a boiling point throughout the boxing world as Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn lock eyes in a fierce pre-fight face-off. Both men refusing to blink before this massive blockbuster. Gareth A. Davies suggests the entire outcome hinges on how Benn manages the leap in weight class to face his rival. The veteran journalist strongly advises that stepping into the welterweight division against someone packing Garcia's lethal punching power is an incredibly perilous task for anyone.
I think it's a good fight. I don't think it's a big fight in America. I think it's a big fight in the UK. Obviously, Ryan's a big star in America, Conor's not. Ryan's a bigger star in the UK than Conor is in America, and Conor's a big star in the UK. So, yeah, I don't think it's a fight that's going to do massive numbers, but I like the fight. I think it's exciting. I think at 147, Ryan's a big fight. I don't think Conor should be fighting at 147. I think, I like him up at 160 or up towards that weight class, but I don't see a way he beats Ryan Garcia at 140.
Ignoring the tactical matchup for a moment, Frank Smith views Garcia as the absolute toughest test of Benn's career, calling it a colossal obstacle despite the British fighter's endless work ethic. While Smith totally respects the elite caliber of opponents Garcia has previously faced, he refuses to completely count Benn out of the equation. From his perspective, the magnitude of this event combined with Benn's relentless ambition ensures he will empty the tank attempting to secure a career-defining triumph.
I got Conor Benn. I know it's a surprising thing. I think Ryan Garcia is a better boxer, but Conor Benn is a fighter, bro. Conor Benn is just a raw fighter. The thing is, Conor Benn has to hide his punches a little more. Conor Benn has a lot of power. We fought at 150, so the gloves was bigger, but Conor Benn he hit me real hard. He has a lot of power, but he doesn't hide it. He doesn't hide it real good. You can see everything coming. He really is like swinging. So when you can see it coming, you kind of brace. You can put your hands up. You can move a little bit. But if he hides his punches, it might be a little better for him.
Echoing that sentiment, Eddie Hearn envisions a spectacular, fan-friendly brawl that will undoubtedly capture massive global interest, particularly among the passionate British fan base. Nevertheless, the prominent promoter feels the broader factors favor the American star and questions whether Benn possesses the final gear needed to snatch the victory. Because of these lingering doubts, Hearn ultimately predicts Garcia will have his hand raised when the dust finally settles in the ring.
I think Ryan Garcia is a better boxer, but sometimes we know Ryan, bro. Sometimes Ryan looks really good, and then sometimes he looks bad. And last fight, he looked good against Barrios. But next fight, he might look bad. He might underestimate Conor Benn. And sometimes when you do that, you know, because Conor Benn, I mean, they say he didn't look good his last fight against me. So, you know, sometimes you underestimate people, and because it's a fight by fight base. You could look at somebody, they could look like that fight, and they come and get on your next fight, you know, because it's all. Sometimes it's your night, sometimes it's not your night. He might come, he wants the belt too. That's the thing. Conor Benn is hungry. He wants that belt. And he not just doing it for the money. Obviously, he rich as hell. He don't got to do it for the money. He doing it for the belt. And it's somebody that stay in the gym and stuff. So, you know, when you got somebody like that, it's going to be hard to beat him.
Taking an entirely different stance, Regis Prograis surprisingly favors Benn, even while acknowledging Garcia possesses a much more refined technical arsenal. The former champion believes the British challenger's smothering aggression and savage mentality might completely neutralize any existing disparity in pure boxing skill. Prograis readily admits Benn possesses legitimate knockout power to threaten anyone, though he notes that fighting with slightly more tactical precision would elevate him into a truly terrifying threat.
Now where he's going in against one of the elites in that weight class, do you see Conor being able to bridge the gap in people's minds and finally prove to people that he is the real deal rather than someone that's ultimately been given opportunities and very well matched?
Not an ability, no, because we've said, obviously, I think there's levels, and Garcia there's a few levels above. Power-wise, if he still has it, if he can still hold that power at 147 after being up at 160 for so long, it's going to be tough for him getting down, but he's been doing it gradually. His last fight was at 150. If he can make it, then I think that's the only chance he has, really. He's got to try and make it a dog fight. He's got to try and make it where he can land his own shot.
Diving deeper into his prediction, Prograis argues that Garcia's notorious inconsistency could provide the exact opening his opponent desperately needs. Despite acknowledging the American's elite pedigree, he strongly cautions that underestimating an incredibly motivated and ferocious athlete like Benn usually ends in disaster. Highlighting the challenger's intense obsession with winning a world title and his grueling preparation, Prograis remains convinced Benn will be an absolute nightmare to deal with on fight night.
Been calling everybody out. He now gets that opportunity against Ryan Garcia. The big problem, by the way, is at 147 for Conor Benn, where he won't carry that strength that he once had. Ryan Garcia wins the fight.
Conor wins the fight.
You reckon he wins the fight? What, not 147? I don't think so.
I'm telling you, man. You don't understand. The kick.
Offering a contrasting perspective, one prominent boxing pundit severely doubts that upsetting Garcia would silence Benn's persistent critics, arguing the American operates on an entirely different level, assuming his punching power translates to the heavier weight. This observer suspects the underdog's only viable path to victory involves dragging the bout into a chaotic, exhausting brawl rather than attempting a strategic boxing match. Even with that gritty approach, the analyst views it as a monumental task, demanding absolute perfection from Benn to pull off the massive upset.
And Ryan will be a favourite to beat Conor Benn, quite a big favourite, I think. Ryan's probably thinking, I beat Conor Benn, then I do Devin Haney, and then maybe somehow, I don't know if it all works out, I have the Shakur Stevenson super fight, maybe. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's the news, people. That fight will happen in September. It'd be interesting to see how Conor Benn physically looks. I just went onto Conor Benn's Instagram page. He's always training. So I guess he has to stay around a certain weight now so that weight cut isn't difficult. Because at 150, he still looked didn't look right for me at 150. It's been a long time though that his body's got down to that weight. So yeah, I think he will probably start from a lighter point just to make that final weight cut easier. But look, if it's the Ryan Garcia that turned up against Barrios, Conor's got an issue. But Conor Benn will fight.
Keeping the debate rolling, Spencer Oliver throws his support behind Garcia, suggesting the specific contractual agreements heavily favor the American since Benn might struggle to perform at his absolute best under the stipulated weight conditions. Conversely, Derek strongly argues that the British star possesses everything required to defy the massive odds stacked against him. This stark contrast in expert predictions perfectly illustrates just how wildly divided the boxing community remains regarding the eventual outcome of this fascinating clash.
And Conor Benn will try and take his head off. Will he be successful at taking his head off? I do not know. But we know, at least we know, he will try and fight to the death. And I'm not mad at it. I think it'll be an exciting fight. For as long as it...
Adding his voice to the mix, Ade Oladipo firmly positions Garcia as the clear betting favorite, noting that a spectacular victory here could pave the way for astronomically massive showdowns in the future. He has no doubts about Benn's preparation, thoroughly praising the challenger's phenomenal dedication throughout training camp. However, Oladipo quickly warns that if the American star manages to replicate the brilliance of his recent elite performances, the British underdog is destined for a brutally punishing experience.
What's your reaction to one of your old stablemates now being paired up with Ryan Garcia? We've now seen Conor Benn. He's going to go into what I consider to be a real fight for him. What's your reaction to that fight?
Yeah, look, I think it will be the hardest fight of his career to date. One thing about Conor Benn, you know, as much as my views may have changed personally, he trains very hard. He'll give it his all. You know, it's going to be a great fight, and it will be an entertaining fight, I'm sure. You know, I think Ryan Garcia, though, arguably, is another level to the opponents he's been in terms of levels. But, you know, I can't write Conor off. I'm not going to sit here and write him off in that fight, because he's going to go out there. This changes his life. He's had a dream to become the WBC world champion. I'd anticipate that belt is on the line, unless there's any differences with Zuffa. But yeah, I wish him all the best. It's a great fight. It's a massive fight for the sport of boxing.
I mean, some people could be mean-spirited, not me, and say it's the battle of the PEDs. But in this instance, would you have put Conor Benn into a fight with Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, look, I said it publicly before. You know, it was a huge fight. I said the build-up for it will be massive. It's two big characters in Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia. You know, from the UK, US coming together. I guess they do it in the US, in Vegas, probably. So yeah, of course, if we were still promoting Conor Benn, of course that would be a fight that we would target, and wish them both all the best in it.
Expanding on his analysis, Oladipo fully expects Benn to charge forward with vicious intent, dictating a frantic tempo right from the opening bell regardless of the defensive risks involved. While he remains uncertain if this reckless strategy will actually secure a victory, he guarantees the aggressive approach will create an absolute spectacle for the fans. In his view, this compelling clash of styles features absolutely every necessary element to deliver a breathtakingly violent and unforgettable war.
I think Ryan Garcia wins this fight by knockout, although there is a chance that Conor Benn throws Ryan for a loop, and myself as well, by using his feet a lot and not trying to really be the destroyer Conor Benn, but trying to be the boxer Conor Benn and utilize his speed in a way that he did against a much older Regis Prograis, who's not nearly as young and fresh and fast or as tall as Ryan Garcia, but he moved around the ring. He showed some wrinkles in his game. Same thing in the Chris Eubank Jr. rematch. Because I think if Conor Benn tries to hop in and jump in with punches like he has done for a majority of his career, he gets put out by Ryan Garcia. But I think even if he does show up, and I kind of am expecting him to fight like that in this fight, Raheem, I just think Garcia is the better talent. It will be interesting for Garcia to have to once again go up against a guy who has twitchiness like he does and explosiveness like he does. But I think Ryan Garcia is the favorite to win this fight.
Shifting back to the business side, Frank Smith perceives this collision as a massive commercial juggernaut, completely confident the polarizing personalities involved will generate astronomical hype long before they ever trade punches. He freely admits this is precisely the type of blockbuster spectacle he would have relentlessly pursued back when he was guiding the British fighter's trajectory. From a promotional standpoint, Smith recognizes it as a premier attraction guaranteed to magnetically draw millions of casual and hardcore viewers alike.
It's about to be real apparent, because for whatever you think of Garcia, that's a level Conor Benn hasn't seen. And they are going to muddle the fame of these two guys, the momentum of both of these guys, the social media following of these two guys, the big fights that they have each had, which is unquestioned, of both of these two guys, and turn that into an equivalence. But when it comes to skill, ability, levels to this boxing game, they are on absolute different planes. And you're about to see that. Conor Benn is not on Ryan Garcia's level.
Analyzing the tactical battle, Sean Zittel confidently predicts an early knockout victory for Garcia, citing a massive canyon in overall pedigree between the two combatants. He advises the underdog to abandon his signature aggressive brawling and instead rely on tactical patience and lateral movement to survive. However, even if those defensive adjustments are made, Zittel remains certain the American's blistering hand speed and superior athleticism will ultimately dominate the contest.
The last Ryan that we see, not the one with Barrios, but the Rolly. If we get that type of Ryan, you feel like Conor Benn would win?
I don't know if he'd win, but probably so. But he definitely, to me, Ryan should win. But if, you know, Ryan is different, like I said, he got all the talent, but it's up and down. His passion seems to fluctuate. So, well, Conor, he should be up. It's a huge fight. But, you know, I think that he a better fighter than Conor to be. Conor just more hungrier. He fight hungry. Every fight he fight hard. So that's a dangerous fighter.
Tough guy
to anybody. Tough, yeah. He gonna come in there. That's his one way of fighting. It's tough. So that's kind of the measuring scale for that one. But
chiming in with a critical eye, Radio Raheem argues this specific challenge will permanently reveal whether Ben actually deserves a spot among the sport's absolute elite. While the massive media buildup makes this seem like a perfectly balanced 50-50 encounter, Raheem clearly sees a staggering disparity in fundamental boxing mechanics. In his assessment, the American star operates in a completely different universe of talent and will undeniably prove that superiority once the actual fighting begins.
I think Ryan might do him dirty, man. I think Ryan could really do him dirty with that speed that he has.
no, I think he can as far as his ability. I think, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We got to see what Ryan show up. He got the tools and all of that. It's just his, you know, we got to see what Ryan show up. We didn't see him fluctuate. His hunger and his passion. Some fighters don't fight good when they ain't really that hungry. So with Ryan, he seemed like one of them kind of guys where he got to be hungry to have a good performance. But if he does, yeah, I see him beating Conor Benn.
Sharing a similar outlook, Mickey Bay also favors Garcia, confidently giving him the edge in natural talent, while openly acknowledging his frustrating habit of alternating between brilliant and mediocre performances. He completely respects the British fighter's menacing durability and rugged approach, viewing him as a live underdog against anyone on the planet. Nevertheless, Bay maintains that the American possesses a far superior arsenal and will ultimately secure the win provided he shows up in peak condition.
Curious to see how it goes because Ryan's been a little Jekyll and Hyde these days. You see Ryan against Devin, he looks fantastic. Then he comes back in Times Square, he doesn't look all that great. Then he comes back and he fights Mario Barrios and he looks great again. And so which version of Ryan Garcia is going to show up and which version of Conor Benn is going to show up? The Conor Benn that we saw against Regis Prograis wasn't all that great. The Conor Benn that we saw last time out against Chris Eubank 2 fights ago, rematch.
Elaborating on his stance, Bay highlights Garcia's blinding quickness and comprehensive offensive variety as massive advantages, though he admits everything hinges entirely on the American's mental state. He astutely observes that physical limitations have never hindered Garcia. Rather, his ultimate struggle has always been maintaining intense focus and motivation consistently. If a fully dialed-in version arrives on fight night, Bay is completely confident the sheer talent gap will overwhelm the challenger.
I think that fight, based off of how Ryan Garcia just looked in his last fight, I mean, it looks like he beats Conor Benn. Conor Benn has a style that matches what Ryan is good. You know, the style clash favors Ryan Garcia because of his speed, because of his power from the outside. So definitely a tough fight for Conor Benn. Again, based off of Ryan's last fight, I would say 60-40. Ryan Garcia wins that fight, possibly.
Taking a more neutral stance, Ariel Helwani admits he finds this stylistic matchup incredibly difficult to predict, simply because both athletes have been notoriously erratic in their recent campaigns. He points out how each man has looked absolutely terrifying in certain matchups while appearing shockingly vulnerable in others, muddying the predictive waters completely. Because of this shared inconsistency, Helwani concludes the final result relies entirely upon which specific version of each competitor decides to show up under the bright lights.
Stylistically, what do you think it looks like?
I think Ryan outboxes him. I think I think he's going to piggyback off what he did against Barrios. Conor Benn is a lot shorter, and I think he's going to piggyback off of that and probably dominate Conor Benn.
Heavily influenced by recent form, Sean Porter confidently selects Garcia to emerge victorious. Deeply impressed by the spectacular brilliance the American showcased in his last time out, the former world champion insists the stylistic dynamic heavily favors Garcia, noting his dazzling hand speed and long-range power will create an unsolvable tactical nightmare for the British brawler. Porter is so confident in this assessment that he boldly predicts an explosive early stoppage victory for the overwhelming favorite.
I think Conor Benn is tough, but I think just same way he just outboxed and beat up Barrios, probably in the same way. You know, maybe, like I say, they say when you get the championship, you get 50% better. So maybe, you know, he maybe get us there. But I don't think Ryan Garcia, no, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't, he's just a sloppy fighter. You know, if maybe he catches him with a good punch and stops him. But as far as his finishing skill set, no. I think if he hurt him, he would go wild trying to finish him and miss the mark. You know, he's not gonna, if he gets him hurt, he's not gonna be able to put him in a position to get him to stop out. He don't have that skill set. So I feel like if he hurts him, he obviously gonna run over there and try to swing hard and maybe hit him, miss him, look sloppy trying to do it. And if Conor Benn can hold him or, you know, duck and move and dodge, and he probably survived.
Sharing a nearly identical read, Bernie the Boxer gives a massive edge to Garcia, absolutely certain his superior ring generalship will allow him to effortlessly control the distance and rhythm. He fully expects the American to carry all his recent positive momentum into the ring, perfectly executing a game plan built around his glaring physical advantages. Ultimately, Bernie believes this potent combination of confidence and technical superiority will effortlessly guide the favorite to a thoroughly dominant victory. Despite predicting total domination, Bernie remains highly skeptical about a knockout finish, expecting a distance fight instead. He praises the British challenger's renowned iron chin and seriously questions whether the American possesses the necessary killer instinct to finish a badly wounded target. Consequently, rather than a spectacular sudden ending, Bernie anticipates a systematic dismantling where Garcia racks up rounds through intelligent, methodical boxing to win a wide decision. As the highly anticipated opening bell rapidly approaches, both superstars have made their violent intentions perfectly clear, but the endless debate will only be settled once they finally trade leather. Both warriors are utterly convinced they possess the ultimate blueprint for victory, perfectly setting the stage for one of boxing's most electrifying showdowns. Now we want to hear from you. Will the Americans' blinding speed and precision reign supreme, or can the British Bulldog's suffocating pressure secure a monumental upset? Leave your official predictions in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell for more premium combat sports coverage. Script and Eld.